Hello everyone and welcome back to APM Help Academy. In today's video we will be going over all things maintenance. From your dashboard, where you can find this section is by going underneath accounting to maintenance and then selecting your task. Our first stop is in work orders. Work orders are very key for you when dealing with property related either maintenance requests from the tenants, owners, or even your maintenance techs themselves. In order to start a new work order, you'll have to go either service requests or a tenant can submit one through their online portal. The way you would start a service request is you'd hit start new service requests. You would select the property or homeowner or tenant in association to this. So in this case, let's do Rivendell Apartments. You can specify which unit if it's a unit related issue. If it's just a property related issue, you would leave this as not unit specific. You can select your work order type, whether it be an internal request, a resident request, or a unit turn. You can also update the service request to note whether or not there is permission to enter if it's a unit. This would be important to fill out for your maintenance techs so that they aren't causing issues with your current residents. And you can also, before your maintenance techs arrives on site, you can add additional information regarding entry. You can also select the priority of the service request from normal, low to urgent. Here in the description, you can also fill out just general notes for your maintenance tech, whether it be blinds need repair or new dishwasher needs to be installed. Here you can select whether or not you want the service request to be the description on the work order, or if you want to create your own job description for it. In this case, we'll just use it. You can also, in the rare event that you've contacted the owner outside of the maintenance flow, you can also select that the owner has already approved the service request, thus streamlining the support for your tenant and their unit. Here you can select whether or not what type of work order issue it is, and here we'll select dishwasher. Here you can also assign any specific vendor instructions for the vendor to view, whether it be to keep their spending at a certain point, or if there's just any other additional notes you feel that are helpful for your maintenance tech. You can assign a specific trade as well for your vendors. And here is where you can assign a specific AppFolio vendor. Here we'll just assign Fehab. Here you can also, through your online communication settings, you can set it up to where the vendors will have a work order texted to them. You can request information for the receipt of the work order, and you can email them a secure link to the work order. Here, if you have an in-house maintenance tech, you can assign it to them, and then they will be able to access it from their mobile AppFolio app and make updates as they do the work. Last but not least, you can also set a follow-up date as to when you want to check back in on the status of this service request. Once all that information is entered, you can hit save. Once the service request is created, you will then have the work order summary page. Here are a couple things to note. If in the event the first initial work order is not sufficient to complete the work needed, you can add another work order by selecting add here, to which you'll then fill out the information once again for the new work order. Also, in the event that your owner did not give you permission, you can request owner permission here. You can also notify both your owner and tenant of the work order and send them follow-up and task updates. When work is created, you can go ahead and hit mark ready to bill, to which it will create a bill based off of what you've entered. can also update the status of the service request to completed and waiting. Another section that is very, very important is your billing summary section. To find it, you'll hit edit on the work order. We'll scroll down, and here you'll see two options. One, if your maintenance tech or your vendor that you've hired to do this service request works on an hourly rate, here's where you will add it. So we will add our maintenance tech, hours worked, and then description of work if applicable. Down here in billable items, this is where you will add your maintenance tech's total hours worked again, their rate, and the expense account you want related to it. Once all that information is in, you can then hit save. In the event that they also have parts and supplies that they purchased out of pocket for the repair, here's where you will also add it. One time. In the event that the maintenance tech or vendor have purchased parts outside of the system, here's where you will also add it as a billable item. Once all billable items and billable time has been entered, you will then be able to hit save. Another important section of the work order is the vendor markup or discount. Here it is important to set your percentage if you have a markup or discount with a specific vendor, and you select the type of adjustment it is, whether that be markup or discount. Set your percentage out of 100. Once all billable time and items are added to the work order, you will then see the work order is in a status ready to bill. In order to bill, you can go to Actions, and then click Create Third-Party Vendor Bill. To which then, if all information looks well, you can say Save and Create Bill. Once all billable hours and billable items have been entered on the work order, since we have assigned it to our third-party vendor, our next step will be to create third-party vendor bill. We'll click this. By default, it's going to select our vendor we've assigned, save all our billable hours and items, put our adjustment for our markup, and here you can put the invoice and reference per the vendor. You can also physically upload their PDF of their invoice that you've received. Once all the information is in, we can then say Save and Create Bill. And now we will have a bill that's ready to be paid out to this vendor. So now we'll go to here, Pay Bills Flow. Here we see our bill to pay. We'll continue, finalize. Now we have our check ready to print and send out. Once the payment is done, you can always go back to the work order by going to the check page, selecting the dollar amount, and then clicking on work order 2-1. Now we are here. Once all actions have been complete and the vendor's been paid, you can go ahead and now move the status from waiting to mark as complete. Select the completion date and add any notes that are applicable. Now our work order has been completed. The next task in maintenance after work orders is recurring work orders. Here, you'll click on that. You'll say New Recurring Work Order. Like the other work order section, it's relatively the same, just now you select a start date, end date, and how many times that work order is going to repeat monthly. This is useful if you have a pool on site and there's a pool maintenance that you do on a monthly basis for the property, or if you have a recurring landscaping team that comes in. The uses of a recurring work order is to streamline your processes and allow for the system to automatically post bills to then pay out your monthly recurring maintenance, whether that be landscaping, pool, or any other sort. Here you can select the start and end date, whether or not it repeats, what months, if applicable, the property, work order description, vendor instructions, an assigned vendor, and billable information. Once you've entered all this, you'll hit save, and then the system will post a bill for this vendor on the selected date. The next section on our maintenance journey is inspections. Inspections are used when doing a move in for the tenants to go through and a move out for then your maintenance techs to go through to make sure the unit is up to standard. In order to start a new inspection, you'll click the task New Inspection. You'll select your name for the inspection, the date, the address, and which inspection layout you wish to exist. You can assign specific inspections to the properties and the units, or you can say use an existing template. Right now in the system, we do not have a template, but we'll show you that here in a little bit. When you hit Start Inspection, the inspection will begin and it'll look like this. Here, the tenant or your maintenance tech will be able to say whether or not these specific areas look okay, or if there is a need for follow-up. Once everything has been filled out in the inspection, you can share with both the tenants and the owners, then create work orders if applicable for repairs. The other section of inspections is setting up templates for unit-specific needs. You can do this by saying New Inspection Template. You can create a name for it. And you can select your starting point. I would advise using the default layout to start, as it will give you the most general areas to which you can add items as you need. So for the kitchen, living room, bedroom, bathroom as well, you can add multiple items as well as you see fit. This has been part 1 of all things maintenance in AppFolio. We went over work orders, recurring work orders, and inspections. Thank you so much for tuning in to APM Help Academy. Like, follow, subscribe for more. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us at info@apmhelp.com.